Hi, my name is Bhanu Prakash. I'm having around 10 years of experience in Oracle Web Center sites, Web Center portal, Oracle Identity and Access Management, and also in the WebLogic. In today's session, I'm going to explain about high-level Oracle WebLogic Server 14c features. Okay, so this is the agenda of today's session. So today we are going to give an introduction to WebLogic 14c, what are the new features in WebLogic 14c, and main concentration in how we can automate the auto deployment of a var file and EAR file using ANT based scripts and the Makefile. Okay, so these are the at a high level features of WebLogic 14c, key highlights and new features. It supports JDK 21 and Jakarta Enterprise Edition 9.1 and Java Enterprise Edition Enterprise Edition 8. It supports both, and also it supports modernization. Remote WebLogic Console replaces legacy console. If you see the till 12.c 11g or 12.c WebLogic, we used to have access/console where we used to log in and do the deployment of EAR and var file as well as data source, log monitoring, performance monitoring, and if you want to change any environment variables, we used to do realRM, etc. Now this is the traditional approach, okay, and sometimes we have seen some bottlenecks. So from 14c onwards, the slash traditional console has been removed and it has been introduced with the remote WebLogic consoles, which comes with the two variants. One is the desktop version, the other one is the your web-based version. Okay, so whatever the features you have seen in the traditional console, all those features have been available in the remote WebLogic console, but it is having more and more features, especially the monitoring capabilities, data source, performance improvements, and it has been become very easy to deploy any var file and EAR file. Okay, and it also you can create a different projects for that, and you can do it. You can see more information on remote WebLogic console in my other video, but this main concentrate on the automation of the build scripts. The next one is cloud and container ready, Dockers and Kubernetes integrations, where it simply provides the containerization from the 14c onwards. Okay, and improved security with it supports the TLS 1.3 support till the 12c. We, as you know, that there are the different TLS versions 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. The latest is the TLS 1.3 standards, but previously till 12c it supports 1.2 as well as 1.1, but from 14c onwards it has having a support of TLS 1.3 and also RESTful management API for automation. Okay, it provides a actually a RESTful management APIs for the entire automation process. The next one is modular installation footprint, smaller and modular, so it becomes easy. And the main advantage what 14c is providing is performance improvement and the performance tuning. Okay, and also whenever there is an issue in this, it provides a good of a logging mechanism where usually you can diagnostics. And if you want to migrate from the 12c to 14c, it provides a seamless migration from the 12c. It provides a scripts where you can easily migrate from the 12c to 14c. Okay, then next we will be seeing the ant based deployment. Okay, so basically ant is used for, if you see the traditional, what we used to do is we used to generate a jar file or a var file, go to your console, upload that var file, click on the deploy, and if you want to undeploy, you have to click on the undeploy. There is a traditional manual process is there, but using the ANT script we can automate the entire process of deploying a var file or a EAR file, and we can easily undeploy a var or a EAR file. So I'll be showing and simple after this I will be showing explain you the scripts whatever I written, deployment, undeployment, all those steps I will be going through. So in this what I will be doing is in the build.xml And also I have written in a sample in such a way that different environment, for example, if you want to run this local, easily you can set up this files. And if you want to run this in the QA dev environment, pre-prod or prod, you will be having a different env properties file. Okay, so the script will be the same, but you will be having a different env properties. And in the script, what I am doing is whether my server is running or not. These are all pre-checks. The second one is validate the credentials. What of the credentials I have provided, those are valid or not. Deploy, it's providing a script for the deploy. And next one is the undeploy a var file. And this is basically an ideal situation where you want to do a continuous deployment, integration and the deployment multiple times. If you want to perform, then it's a easy for us. So this helps in your integration easily with your pipeline, CI/CD pipelines. Okay, totally automation. The next one, the same thing we are achieving the Makefile, because ANT has become a little bit legacy kind of thing. Old application used to have, but nowadays in the modern deployment, people go with the Makefile. Okay, so I have written a script which works in both Linux and Windows. Okay, and simple commands, same thing like make deploy, make undeploy, automatically deploys, undeploys, and you can just redeploy it. And also the same makefile is an environment specific. I have written like env.properties for the local, dev, QA, and as well as pre-prod and prod can be used. The next one is the integrate with WebLogic deployer for the script management. So I am using the WebLogic deployer for doing this all these tasks. Okay. Now let me see. Hi. So continue. Let me continue see how the deployment. This is the env dot local. So basically, this is how it will having the property file. If you see the WebLogic, this is a local. So each environment will be having a different env properties. For example, env.dev, env.qa, env.preprod, and env.production. So each environment will be having its own properties, in which we are setting the what is a WebLogic. Here you can see my WebLogic has been installed in this particular path. Java home C JDK 21. Admin URL is 7001. Admin user is WebLogic 1, and application name is the sample, and the what is the var file and the target. Okay, so this is the target which are there, and currently I will be showing this in the using the ANT script. Okay, so ANT is a traditional script where you can easily deploy and automate the entire process of deploying, undeploying, and also redeploy, and also what are the paths, environment variables we have set, everything we can see, we will see it. Okay, before that just I want to explain about this build and the targets. Okay, here you can see check server. Basically this check server is whether the server is up and running, it will change. And so for this I am using the netstat. Here you can see the second one is the check if deployed. This target will check if already the application has been deployed or not. If it is deployed, it will display that application has been already deployed. The next one is this is for the undeploying. This basically here you can see I'm using the here WebLogic deployer, where you have to pass all the parameters, and finally you will say undeploy. And the next one is the deploy command. Here also we are using the WebLogic deployer and admin and everything deploy and everything. Here you can see. And finally here all the environment variables it will display. Okay, so let me go. I am going to the git bash here, or the command, and clicking on ANT. Here you can say like deploy. So what it that as it is the pre-checks, the first one is it will check whether the admin server is running. So it will make sure the admin server is running. If any of the steps have been failed, it will stop there itself. Next one is it's validating the credentials, whether the credentials are valid or not. Then check if the application has been deployed or not. Okay, if then the next one is here, yes, there is no application in the list, and the deployment has started. Here you can see WebLogic deployer, and the options is admin URL, and finally the deployment has been successful. So see that whether this deployment has been successful or not. Just I'm opening the browser. Localhost. Here click on the sample. See if everything is successful, the page has to load and it should display. Here you can see yes, the deployment is success. Here you can see index.jsp. This is a sample JSP and the var file where we are displaying it. So the next step is the undeploy. Here you can see it is deploying. So the first step is it checks whether the credentials are valid or not. Next one is the sample is already, and here you can see there is already variable name sample, and finally it is undeploying the application. Here is a command weblogic.deployer invoke with the options username and undeploy. So here you can see. So if the undeploy is success, and if you try to hit this, you should get 404 page not found and this one. So in this way, what we can do is the advantage of using is this one is continuous integration and continuous deployment. And once this is there a CI/CD pipeline, and how many times you want to do, you can do it. And previously we have seen in the other video, if you want to do this from the remote desktop console, it will take. That means first you have to manually jar it, log in it, upload it, and there is a you have to upload. There is a deployment process you have to follow, and once you want to undeploy and all those stuff. But using this one, it's a very simple. Using this automation script, silent, it's a just goes and deploy and undeploy the thing. This is using the ANT. The same thing, this is the traditional old way of deploying. This is has become a little bit old nowadays. People are going for the latest technologies like Maven, and also the Makefile. Okay, now everyone is using the Makefile. Okay, so I will show you how can we do using the Makefile also. Go here and I'm opening the Makefile. Here you say the same thing, whatever you have seen and the same commands here, but a little bit a way of representation. Here you can say check if the admin server is running, admin URL. Here also I'm using the netstat where I'm checking whether the admin, if it is admin is running, it will say admin is running, otherwise it will show an error message. It checks the credentials, same command, admin URL and this one. And next one is it will check whether the application has been deployed and deployed if needed, and these are the different targets like the deploy you can see here. This is a command for deploy. The same thing here I'm using the WebLogic deployer, and here undeploy. Okay, and here you can see deploy the check server, check credentials, check if deployed, and deploy app. These are the steps what it follows. And finally if you want to redeploy, you can redeploy it, or here what you can see here, redeploy is first it will undeploy, then it will deploy it. And here are the environment variables where you can see WebLogic and all those stuff. So let me run this once again. And also same thing, same property file you can use, same concept like previously I have explained. Each environment can have its own this one. Make deploy. So first it will check whether the server is running or not, admin server is running. The next one is it validate the credentials, whether whatever the credentials we have provided is valid or not. If it is valid, then it will say credentials are valid and successfully. Okay, and next one is check if the sample application is deployed. If it is not deployed, and it will say sample not found, proceeding for the next deployment. And here is a command WebLogic deploy and invoke options. And finally you can see that the application has been deployed successfully. Let me see whether it has been deployed. Once again the same thing, sample application I'm trying to access. If everything goes, here you can see the index JSP. This is a simple JSP of a var file for WebLogic 14c. Okay, so here is this one. Next let me see how we can undeploy this. Here what I'm doing is make and deploy. Click on the make and deploy. Here you can see and deploy is success. If I try to access the application, it should stop. So in this way, what we can do is either you can go for the Makefile or a ANT script, which automate the entire process of building and deploying the var file, and same thing you can follow for the ER file also. So this will avoid all the manual steps, and this will help you in the continuous integration pipelines, CI/CD pipelines you can create it using this script so that you can continuously deploy it. Okay, this is what I have as of now. Yeah, thanks.